Hello, everyone. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. By the way, have you ever heard that there are more than 24 hours in a day? Perhaps no. But here is a beautiful young lady who is going to prove that yes, she has. You will surprised to know that perhaps she is working more than 26 hours a day. Yes. And what about her credential? Wow, unbelievable. Let me tell one or two sentences or sentences only about herself, and then I will hand it over to her to tell more about herself. Andra Annette, a registered nurse and Bachelor of Science in Nursing, is a holistic practitioner and a two-time international best-selling author who has spent nearly 4 decades empowering people to reclaim their health and vitality. Yes, here is the lovely personality, Andra Annette. Andra, the platform is yours. Please introduce yourself. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. I'm Andra Annette. I am a nurse, a holistic practitioner, a leaky gut, thyroid, and weight loss expert. And I put people in the body they love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great. So before I jump to the questions, I was just let me announce and tell all my listeners that yes, she is so perfect and particular and promise keeping that even though she will be getting up at 2:30 in the morning, but now it is about 9 p.m. for her. She is awake, she is prepared, and she is there just to support us. So nice of you, Tenka. And a very big namaste to you. Here is the question which are sent by my listeners to you. And the first question goes like this, Andra, what was the most surprising thing you learned about your health and wellness during your 40 years in healthcare sector? I repeat, what was the most surprising thing you learned about your health and wellness during your 40 years in healthcare sector? Andra, please.
That two people can present with the same disease and have very different treatments. Health is
Mm-hmm.
not linear. Everyone is very different in their course in action. There's a lot of things that vary in someone's health patterns. Most people aren't sick because they're lazy. They're sick because their gut is inflamed, their thyroid is suppressed, and their immune is confused. And the body generally wants to heal itself, but it's blocked by the misinformation and the quick fixes that are always front and center online.
Mm-hmm. Oh, lovely. So based on that, it reminded me one more question that Andra, can you share one aha moment from your career that completely changed your approach to this holistic health? Andra, please.
I had an experience where a doctor was rushing through an appointment with a client,
Mhm.
and he didn't really make eye contact with her. He
Oh,
used clinical precision, but he was lacking in compassion. And I think that that patient really needed to feel heard in that moment. And I just, from that, I took away that no amount of knowledge surpasses the need to be genuinely kind in nature. And that health really isn't just about the body, it's about the human that's really wearing that body. So we need to be compassionate and empathetic.
mhm.
And spurting clinical diagnoses is she didn't need a diagnose in that moment. She really just needed to feel heard.
Yes, you're very correct. One should be compassionate. That is the most important. And just having the knowledge is of no use unless and until you use it. And more than that, if you can use it, to others, then perhaps that is the biggest blessing that universe always showers on you. Well, Andra, I'm really surprised that people at the age of 15, either they are busy with writing love poems or they are busy with texting the love messages. When you started your journey at the age of 15 only, Andra, what did that experience teach you that you still carry with you today? Andra, please.
I want to say that resilience can be built young, but
Hmm.
wisdom takes time. It's accumulation of those moments and experience that really encompass that wisdom that you pick up along the way. I knew what it was like to feel pain as a child, but I probably didn't know how to advocate for myself then. So
Oh,
that wisdom came over time. And now I help other women and people that I work with to really be their best advocate.
yes, you're very correct. It reminded me my granddaughter, she's 14 years old, and just I think last month only she had her birthday and she got about $500 as a gift and she handed it over to her father and said that this is the money that when you buy your next house, see that you use this money. See, so
Oh,
what I mean to say is yes. So what I mean to say is yes. When parents are like that, naturally it comes in the children and the children are likely to follow their parents. And coming to that, would you like to tell something about your parents or the person or the friends or philosopher friends or relatives who inspired you in this lovely journey?
most of the people that are in my close circle, they all
Hmm.
inspire me. I have so many people just out there being who they are and really sharing their voice and their experience. Everybody always talks about that mess to the message, right? And a lot of people feel uncomfortable sharing those hard times, and it is
Oh.
through those hard times that we
Hmm.
grow and become who we're meant to be. And by sharing that with other people, it really helps them feel like there's hope to get to a better place, a better relationship, better health outcome. And all of the people in my circle, my friends CJ and Leslie, there's so many. My husband is very supportive of everything I do, which really makes a difference. If you have
Hmm.
a strong support system, you feel like anything is possible. A lot of my family isn't around today, they've passed. So having my husband's family and that support system goes a long way for me.
Oh, very correct. Yes. I think one has the whole world with him if the partner is supportive and you are so lucky and blessed that you have got so wonderful partner. So give my regards to him. So nice that he is supporting you. Beautiful. So here is my next question, Andra, and that's given the pandemic impact, what is the single most important lesson you want people to take away about nutrition and their overall health? What do you mean by that? How do you practice? How do you help people that you can take away and about this nutrition and their overall health? What would be your reply for this?
That the absence of disease doesn't really mean the presence
Hmm.
of health. That a lot of times labs will be drawn and people are told that they're fine and things are normal, but it really depends on where those labs are being drawn,
Hmm.
what types of labs are being drawn, how they're interpreted. If you take a thyroid panel, for instance, a lot of times they come back in range, but a lot of times the right labs aren't ordered. So critical issues are missed, right? Early signs and early warnings are missed. The right labs just aren't drawn. And people
Ooh,
go undiagnosed or untreated, and this does impact so many things in their body. So just because something's not showing on a lab doesn't mean it's not present. It might be another
great.
lab that leads to that answer, right? So we have to be broader in our explanation of disease, because just because there's not a diagnosis doesn't mean you're healthy, right?
And while you explain the client or the people, don't you think that they come out with lots of questions, especially when they are doubting your statement or explanation? How do you deal with those type of people?
Well, I do deal with people that I've lived with thyroid disease my whole life. I know the signs and symptoms from working with people all these years in health. I know that a lot of times people are undiagnosed. At least 25 million people in the population suffer from thyroid disease. More than half of them are undiagnosed. So I encourage people to go and have those labs, and I give them specific labs to have tested, because there are some that are rarely tested
Good.
by physicians and really needed to make an accurate diagnose so that those people can get life-saving treatment. Thyroid affects your cognition, your bones, you know, everything that's going on in your body is affected through your thyroid. So we need to be more productive and forward thinking in the way that we're ordering labs, and explain to people, and do a really thorough history on them, because do they have thyroid disease or hypertension or other disease processes in their family history? What does their lifestyle look like? Or are they living a lifestyle that is going to contribute to those diseases that are already part of their genetics?
Mhm.
So a thorough assessment is really very important. Taking the time to have that conversation and ask those questions. A lot of people will go to a doctor and because one thing is bothering them, but it's a culmination of things that started that thing that's bothering them. So they might have five symptoms, but one symptom
What
is
are they?
bothering
Please,
bothering
can you
them.
please explain in detail?
So someone might go to the doctor with digestive issues, and they might be experiencing GERD, right? But they might leave out constipation and, you know, bouts of diarrhea. So the doctor might just think they're having gastric reflux and send them home with
Good.
Zantac or something like that to help them, right? And there's probably something else going on. So you need to take the time to ask it. And the doctors too, this is their responsibility. This is their job to ask, what other things are you experiencing? Is it just gastric reflux? Does it happen a half an hour after a meal, when you're lying down, sitting up? You need to really do some probing, because they're not trained to know what all of that really entails. And that's part of our ethical responsibility to the patient, to say to them, well, and usually they'll say, no, I'm feeling this and this. And then to again say, is there anything else? Because
Correct.
they might think that they're giving too much information. But the more that you give, the more information you give, the easier it is to really come to an informed decision about what might be happening. And that will direct those labs or other tests that those people are really having, right? It's like health is like a really big puzzle. And when the patients come into you, they may only give you three pieces of that puzzle. So you really can't complete it without all those missing pieces. So a lot of people say that healthcare isn't what it should be, but a lot of things are missed. I think there are some big we are very symptom focused, and it really needs to be about outcomes. I
Correct.
agree with that 100%. We should be more outcome focused. But I think we need to be proactive with things that are happening in our own health and ask those important questions. You should never leave a medical facility more confused than when you walked in. You're there for a service, and you're entitled to get the
Correct.
answers. They're not doing you a service if they're not answering those questions.
Very correct. You are there to answer and you are there to serve. And if you are unable to do that, then definitely the patient will lose the impression or the confidence in you. They will just drift away. Very right. Yes. Well, and what's your answer would be if I ask you that? What's one common health myth you have worked to debunk that you think is still widely misunderstood even today? What is that?
I would have to say calories in, calories out.
Hmm.
I think that people will put too much weight into that. If your gut, your thyroid, and your liver is not really being supported, then no amounts of dieting is going to give you sustainable health. It is about supporting all your systems. And too many people are teaching restrictions, and restrictions is not health. Balance is health.
So, what do you mean by calorie in, calorie out? Do you mean that a person should have sufficient food at the same time? How he can have the calorie out? He should also do exact that amount of exercise to burn the calorie, or you have some other meaning for that?
Well, people base it on how many calories you need to, take in to lose a pound, or they use math problems for your BMI and your thermogenic, food, and thermo effects of food and things like
Hmm.
that. But it's not just calories in and calories out. So the
Yes.
calories out you should always consume less than you're burning to
Oh,
is basically how that's explained, right? So but that's not the only problem in the solution. If your gut health is impaired and you're not absorbing any of those nutrients, it doesn't matter what you're taking in, right? But there's so many other different factors, different lifestyle things, how you're managing your stress, because stress will kill people much quicker than being a little overweight. Stress
hmm,
will create dysfunction in your gut. It will lead to disease processes, all disease processes that are known to man. So there's so many components. It's not just about calories. And
hmm.
people use a definition for calorie that they feel comfortable with. But a calorie, the true definition, is the amount of heat it takes to raise water temperature by 1 degree. That really has no place in health. That doesn't. And calories change when things are cooked, boiled,
Right.
baked. So how many calories are in this piece of fruit or this piece of meat, it's going to change when you prepare that food and you add
Correct.
things to it. So it's not really giving people clarity, and that's where a lot of confusion comes in. It is about finding what works for
Hmm.
you and eating more health conscious, reading labels, and seeing all the things that you're taking into your body that really aren't necessary. um, there's so many fillers, and people say stay away from processed food. Everything in the market is processed, so you have to find better quality nutrition, pick better
Right.
quality choices. And if you're eating healthy and you're making the best decisions for
Hmm.
yourself, then
Hmm.
that health will ensue. It's really hard to eat intentionally about becoming healthy and not lose weight and not be healthy. I didn't count calories on my weight loss journey. I
Hmm.
was someone that was overweight. I became more intentional about what I was eating. Instead of eating mindlessly, I started being very mindful and taking
Hmm.
the time to chew and, you know,
Correct.
and enjoying that food. But food is not so much for enjoyment as it is for fuel. And I think people confuse, well, this doesn't taste good. I eat a lot of things that might not necessarily taste good, but I know they're good for my body. And then over
Oh,
time, I've acquired a taste for them.
correct.
I A lot of things I eat today, I never would have been eating 15 or 20 years ago. I would say, no
Hmm.
way, I'm never having beets. But today I love them. I find
Hmm.
different ways to incorporate it into me. And I take care of my emotions. I manage my stress. I get out and I exercise. Those are all different parts of weight loss, not just
Nice.
calories in, calories out.
Very correct. Yes. Because sometimes the food that you eat may have, and for example, when you go in a marriage party, you have very rich food, but doesn't mean that it has got more calories. Does it mean that it's nutritious? Perhaps no, for so many other reasons. So you should be very careful about the calories and the type of food that you are eating. Very right.
It's
Yes.
definitely
Well, and
the foods
please.
that you're eating.
Right.
It's definitely the foods that you're eating. I still snack. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
give. A lot of people think health is giving up what you love to eat, and it's really not. It's about making those conscious choices. I eat well 80% of the time, but I still make conscious indulgences. You know, I've
Right.
been doing this for 15 years. I know what my body needs, and it is about supporting the needs of your body, not the emotional connection to food.
Correct. Yes. Well, Andra, I've got so many questions that my listeners have sent to me to be asked, but because of the time constraint, it's not possible for me. But here is the one most important question which is very near to my heart, and I was thinking to ask you as and when we meet, and that is over 30 books you have published, including 19 children books. How do you find time and energy to inspire others on so many different levels? How can you do that? How do you do it yourself?
I'm just really doing what I love
Hmm.
online in my personal life. I try not to be part of that hustle culture. I try to always align with who I am as a person. And I feel like if you're living in some kinds of purpose, some your purpose, that that energy naturally comes, right? And I get to plant a small seed with each message, each books that you hope helps people heal and get to a journey that they want to be on, right? So that's where the fuel really comes from.
Well, Andra, again, so many questions are there, but here is the next part of our session, and that is the rapid fire question. Let me ask you a few questions. I request you to reply in the shortest possible way. And here are the few questions for you, specially. If possible, please reply yes or no, or in one word or two, or in a sentence. Andra, please tell one food to avoid forever. What it would be for you, at least.
Soy,
Oh,
soy, especially
wow.
processed soy.
Correct. Very correct. Beautiful. Well, and one superfood everyone should eat. What would be?
Red cabbage. It's gut healing,
Mm-hmm.
anti-inflammatory, and very overlooked.
Oh, great. And if given a choice, Andra, what would you prefer? Coffee or the green tea?
I like them both, but
Uh-huh.
coffee has more antioxidants than really.
Oh,
It's one of the highest in antioxidants in the Western diet. So I
right.
enjoy them both.
Well, I invite you to Melbourne. We have got 13 internationally famous brands of types of coffee. Yeah, most welcome. Well, Andrea, what is the best advice you have ever received? What is that?
To look at my patient, what do I see?
Ah,
It allowed me to see the person in front of me, not their labs or their diagnose, and really
hmm,
understands that it's not always about clinical expertise. It is about the person and just really treating that individual in front of you. That no
very
amount
good.
of textbook protocols takes the place of the person in front of you.
Right. Okay. And one supplement you can't live without, what it would be for you?
I'm not a big supplement person,
Hmm.
but I would have
Hmm.
to say high quality digestive enzymes.
Okay. Good. Okay. And what's your favorite way to distress? What do you do for distressing yourself?
I write. I write. So I tell you, I must have been stressed, right? I write. I like walks in nature. I love reading. But sometimes it's just as simple as asking your body what you need in that
Uh-huh.
moment, tuning in.
Yes. Well, I this recall I recalled one of the runner, marathon runner, when he was asked that you have got the first prize, so what shall you do? Can you imagine the reply? He said, "I will run." So when question was asked to you, I love your answer. I will write. Beautiful. Well, what is the biggest mistake that the people make? Weight loss, especially. What do you say?
They treat it as a math problem instead
Hmm.
of a healing journey. It's not a destination, it's a continued process of health. Health is a
Right.
continuum, it doesn't stop.
Very right. Very right. Yeah. Weight losing is a process. It's not a journey that within a month you will lose 5 kilos and you are just superhuman. No, it's not like that. It's a process. One should need to enjoy the process. Very right. So especially this lesson is for me. I will remember it. Well, Andra, what is the key to a healthy gut according to you?
I believe it's removing the irritants,
Hmm.
incorporating real
Oh,
food, and really
right.
rebalancing with intention.
Very correct. Because God has given two minds, one in the stomach and one in the head. So at least as you said that, I loved. Fine. Andra, what is the biggest challenge in holistic health for you? What do you think? What is it?
Helping people unlearn decades of medical myths.
Huh? Wow. And here is one more question that of course you are you are too young, no doubt about it. But assuming that you are 15 years of age, then what would one advice that you would give to yourself?
That life is a process. We never really arrive at a destination. There's always a new destination, a new goal, but to take time and really enjoy that journey along the way.
Lovely. Would you like to please repeat it? Because I'm sure the listeners, if they remember even one or two words, their life can change. Lovely reply you give. Life is a process. Will you please repeat again?
Life is a process. You never really arrive at a specific destination. There's always a new destination, some a new goal, something that you're working on. So it's really key to enjoy the journey, the now.
Right. Lovely. Enjoy the journey. And I'm sure you are the live example who has really enjoyed this journey. The way with relax, calm, nicely replied each and every question was really very, very, very heart-touching replies. And I'm sure that those, especially those people who are not so much acquainted with the English language, they must have understood you and they will definitely apply the suggestions and all the ways that you have shown. Nice, so nice of you, Andra. Well, I pray the Almighty God to give you all the strength, all the wisdom, all the time, all the power, and all the strength so as to do the work which you are doing. Please continue it. May God bless you and give you all the strength to proceed further. So nice of you. I say namaste to you. Thank you so much, Andra.
Namaste.
I love
Thank
this
you.
session. I love this session. It was wonderful, lovely. So nice of you. Good.